Hi guys, welcome back to the Baking with the Vanilla Pod, and today we are making my favorite chai time snack, that's rusk. I know rusk can be boring, but trust me, it tastes so good when you dip it in some hot tea. So I'm gonna make the rusk today. I'm making mini rusks because they look so cute, but you can definitely alter this recipe and make a bigger batch and make larger rusks. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's get started.
In this clip you can see I'm using a stand mixer with a dough hook attachment, but I realized that my quantity is really less, so later in the video I switched to kneading the dough with my hand. So you can totally knead this dough with your hand. You need to start with 125 grams of refined flour or maida, 15 grams of corn flour and 1 teaspoon of instant dried yeast. Then you want to add 30 grams of condensed milk and 25 grams of soft butter. To knead this dough, we are going to use milk. Now this is about 70 ml or around 1/4 cup. When you start kneading, don't add all the milk together. Start adding the milk gradually. Start with 2 tablespoons and keep increasing it. And then you want to knead this dough until it's nice and smooth. If you are going to make a larger quantity of this recipe, I would suggest you to use a stand mixer, but if you are following these exact quantities, it's best to do with your hand. As you can see now, I will start kneading it with my hand, and I knead this dough for about 10 to 15 minutes till it's nice, soft and smooth. Halfway through your kneading process, you want to add your flavorings. So I'm adding cardamom powder because I want my rusk to be cardamom flavored. So I'm adding 1 teaspoon of the cardamom powder and a pinch or 1/4 teaspoon of salt. If you don't like the flavor of cardamom, you can add any other spice. You can add raisins as well. That tastes really nice. And then you want to continue kneading for another 5 to 7 minutes. Now I have finished kneading my dough, and as you can see, it's nice, soft and smooth. I'm going to divide this into 2, and then we are going to roll each dough ball into a log. Now if you think that your oven doesn't take such a large tray, and the tray that fits in your oven is quite smaller, just divide the dough into 4 and roll it into 4 logs, which will be shorter in length. While rolling the dough, if you think it's not stretching, you just want to lift it and tap it slightly on the bench and then continue to roll. You will see it becomes really easy to roll the log. Then place the logs on a baking tray, and you want to cover it and let it proof for 30 minutes. That means you want the yeast to do all its magic. So cover it and keep it in a warm spot in your house, and they will rise a little bit. It doesn't rise too much, but you will see the difference. Then after 30 minutes, you will bake these at 180 degrees Celsius. So this is the first baking. While making rusk, you always bake it twice, once as a whole log, and the second time you cut them into slices and dry it out. So for the first baking, it takes about 20 minutes till it's nice and golden brown, as you can see here. Don't worry if it cracks, it shouldn't affect your final product. Make sure it's nice and golden from all sides, and then you want these to cool down completely. Once these are cooled down, you will cut them into 1/2-inch slices. Now while cutting them, it's better to use a serrated knife or a bread knife. It's easier to cut because the outside of this rusk is quite hard, so a flat knife might be difficult to use. But if you're using a flat knife, make sure it's really sharp. You want to use a sawing motion while cutting the rusk because the outside is quite hard. If you cut it straight down, they will crack. So you want to use the sawing motion. Just keep cutting both these logs into half-inch slices. Then you want to place all these slices on a baking tray. You can use a baking paper underneath, or you can just place them directly onto the baking tray. And you can line them quite close to each other. Now once you arrange them on a tray, you will bake them the second time. You bake these for the second time because the insides are quite soft yet. So now you want to dry out the entire rusk slice till they become nice, hard and crunchy. So you want to do this on a very low oven, about 120 degrees, and you want to keep an eye on them. You don't want them to burn. You just want them to dry out nicely.
So it took about 20 minutes at 120 degrees, so 20 to 25 minutes to dry out completely. You can hear it's dried, and it smells really nice because of the cardamom powder. And now I'm going to enjoy this with a cup of tea.
If you enjoyed this video, press that like button and share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to our channel, The Baking with the Vanilla Pod. Until next time, happy baking!